Good evening. Harmony Pack, I'm, as always, so happy to be with you on our Wednesday evenings. Um, and tonight, we're going to kind of talk with the animals about the hustle and bustle of the holidays and what they see in us as we are swept up in this or as we're not, and also maybe get some input from them about how to stay clear, stay balanced, stay grounded, all that good stuff. So I'm going to see who wants to come in and connect. Okay, so the Council of Dogs. Hi, everyone. So the Council of Dogs is with us and always available. They love us so deeply, and they say, we what we love is the joy that many of you have at this time of year, especially if you still feel any magic around the holiday. And different. I'm gonna go ahead and go back and forth. So now this is me. Um, what's interesting about that is that holidays, some of us have very happy memories of holidays growing up, whether it's Hanukkah, whether it's Christmas, whether it's, whatever version you grew up with, of a celebration time, which is all about sharing food, sharing good times, and often there are special meals and special foods associated with the holidays that usually do bring back happy memories. And the dogs, dogs are coming in, and the dogs are like, oh yeah, we love that part. Anything that has to do with good smells and cooking, and even if we're not always getting some of the food, although most of the time we get something, um, we love that you are enjoying cooking and preparing the food, and there's a different odor, there's a different scent to foods that you prepare with love. There is an absolute different energy. And when you are making something that you have happy memories around, you have happy feelings around, that energy is, we can taste it in the food. We can smell it as you're cooking it. It has a very different energy. And so if you are cooking something that is, again, from your childhood or just something that brings you joy, um, we we feel that it permeates the whole house, and even the plants feel that energy. So don't underestimate the sweetness and the beauty of cooking with love, whatever it is that you make, whether it's for the holidays or whether it's for any night of the week. And when you're preparing food for us, um, if your energy is about love and gratitude and um, pleasure of making something for us because you know that it's really good for us, um, that again, we can smell it, we can taste it in the meal, and it's very different from just, if you buy something and you feed us that, it's just different. Now we say that, but we can also remind you that you can imbue that food with love. You can just put your hands over it and send it love, send it a prayer, send it any kind of energy, and the food, the energy of the food brightens and the frequency changes. And so this is something that you can do whenever you're preparing food. But we just want to acknowledge that for many of us, when you are cooking and preparing food that brings you joy and happy memories, it has such an amazing energy that we can both smell and taste and just feel. So that's one thing we wanted to tell you about food. Um, Another thing that we, the Council of Canines, wanted to share with you is that it is valuable if you can shake off the stress of the day before you come in the door. And we use that term because that's what we do. We shake things off. And but there are many different ways of doing that. The first step is to become aware that you are entering the den. You are entering your safe our safe, shared, loving space. And ask yourself, what do I wish to bring into that sweet, shared, loving space? Because if I've had a bad day, or if I don't have, we as canines rarely have bad days, but of course we can. But if we feel that you're having a bad day and you come in with it, we of course want to help you with that. We want to make you smile, make you happy, get you out to play or for a walk. But again, what will help us is you being conscious that you may have brought something into the house with you that doesn't serve you or us. And we'll, the Council of Felines will address that as well. But that's our feeling. Our way of handling that is to make you smile, make you laugh, get you playing, get you walking. And if you are aware that that's part of why we do that, as well as we're so excited you're home and we're so happy to see you and we want to do whatever it is that we usually do when you come home. If you can be present with before you come in the door, have I brought anything home that I need to shake off before I greet my animals and my human family members? That will go a long way for you to just really check your own energy field and get used to doing that. Because the more you practice that, the greater your awareness and your sensitivity will be to when you are out of balance, when you have taken something on that doesn't serve you. Because, of course, if you bring it into the house, we're going to do our best to try and help get rid of it. And depending upon our age, our health, our ability to transmute energy, sometimes that's more challenging than other times. So if you can help us out with that, that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. Okay. Before the felines come in, does anybody on the call have any questions based on what the dogs told us so far? Just, I didn't mute anybody, so.
Well, this is Coben's first Christmas.
Oh, right.
I got to get him his Christmas stocking.
Of course.
I took my picture off because I was eating dinner, so I'm sorry.
Okay, then. Yes. So it's his first Christmas, and the kitties, of course, have been around for theirs. But yeah, so and I know you delight in finding special treats for all of your animals, as we all do. And just as again, this is Kate. Again, this year, look at toys that are made from like organic materials. Like I just saw some hemp toys for cats that have catnip in them. There's also a lot of recycled plastic toys that are well made for dogs, whether it's their frisbees or Kong like things. Look for treats that are not made in China. Be very thoughtful about what you're buying, because there's so much junk out there that is cheap and it can break, and it isn't worth the money. But if it's rawhide or some kind of chew, be sure that it's made in America. Be sure that it's not coming from China, because the chemicals and as we've talked about, the dogs have told us that when they eat a rawhide chew, for example, or any type of smell, they can smell the metal that it was cut with. They can smell the everything that it was prepared with, and sometimes they can even smell the stress of the animal or the drugs or chemicals that the animal has been fed. So be very aware of that. There are in America. There's some nice treats by Earth Animal.
Exactly. Coben's in the they did a thing on him yesterday.
Who did?
Earth Animal. You got to look at their Facebook page. I sent a picture with Coben with it in his mouth, and they asked me if they could post it.
Oh, super!
So it's on the page from yesterday.
Was that the turkey pumpkin cranberry one?
No, it was the chicken one.
Okay, because they have these lovely. They look like rawhide, but they're actually not. They're dried and processed to be good chews. But there's chicken, venison, pork, which salmon. And then they have a bigger bone, like for a dog Coben's size or Amos's size or Emma's size. that's about that long and about that big around, and it's turkey, pumpkin, and cranberry. I just saw it today because it's a new thing that they're putting out for Christmas. But that's a lovely company. You know, they are really very thoughtful. But that, as I say, look for sustainable, you know, that comes from healthy animals, preferably, you know, free range chickens and everybody beef and all that. So pasture raised, all that good stuff. Um, because remember the energy. Um, and again, what are you supporting with your money? Because one of the most powerful ways we can support sustainability and we can support um, the right care of farm animals is by paying attention to what we buy. So that's great, Penny. I will look on the Earth Animal
Yes.
Facebook page. That's fun. Anything else about what the dogs just commented on before we hear from the kitties? Okay. So the felines say that they, of course, were listening to what the dogs told you. And they say that they, of course, are the master energy workers and healers. And so they are very tuned in to not only the energies that you are carrying with you when you come in the house, but the energies that are around you. And so they will kind of take stock of your energy field as soon as you come in and determine what kind of work they need to do on you to to help you or for them to help transmute it. Because remember, cats can take energy on, but they don't take it into their bodies. Sometimes they do. I just worked with a client's kitty who, even though one of the older cats was telling him, you don't have to do it that way, he forgot. And so he took a lot of stress into his body. And fortunately, you know, we did some clearing work, and I always call in the angels and guides who are most appropriate for the highest healing of the animal involved in question. And with the animal's guidance, we were directed to where he was holding this. And in the feline, it's the lunar plexus often, which is, you know, there's the solar plexus in the dog, and then there's the lunar plexus in the cat. And that lunar plexus that's where he had this big blobby yucky stuff, but we were able to release it. And when we did, he then was able to play, and you know, he wasn't even eating, and he was a big Maine Coon, so you know, for him not to eat is a very big deal. So so most of the time though, cats are really good at just taking that energy, kind of massaging it and releasing it, what they call transmuting it. But they will do that, and they will, you know, the felines are going to work in your energy field. They say, you know, they're checking what's the energy doing in your field, and where does it need to be smoothed or cleared, or, you know, how do they need to respond to it. So they say it's very valuable for you also, especially if you're sensitive or you tend to take on stuff, is to do some protection work. And what that means is boosting your energy field so that it becomes more of a bubble around you that is not permeable to stuff you don't want. So stuff can just bounce off of it. This is Kate chiming in. One of the visuals that can be very helpful is like a bubble, like a big soap bubble. You know, those beautiful. They have the rainbow. I love that. So it's like you create this lovely bubble around yourself, and then when stuff comes at you, it just bounces off. So if that's valuable to you, that image, but you can, you know, come up with any image you wish. But that is something the felines say, as the dogs were talking about you when you come home, shaking off the energy. The cats are saying, before you go out in the morning, just take a moment and create this beautiful light bubble around you with the intention that negativity is going to just bounce right off. It's not going to get in. And they say that's going to go a long way in helping you just kind of move through the world clean and clear. And if something does come in, you're going to probably be more aware of it because other stuff's just going to bounce off. People's energy is not going to bother you as much. You know, if people are getting crabby with each other, you're just going to walk by and smile, you know, and not get involved and not, you know, worry about whatever drama might be unraveling. in front of you. But they say, the felines say, this is a wonderful way to bolster your field so that, again, you're not bringing stuff home. You're not bringing stuff home. And so that's what they wanted to add to this. And they say, you know, again, you're going to be processing a great deal in your sleep. And we, of course, are very aware of what you're doing in your sleep, whether if we're sleeping with you on the bed or not, we're sleeping in a different place. We, as we sleep, are monitoring your energy and often your dreams. And so you're processing a lot in your sleep, and that's good. That's good. Deep sleep is very important for processing and healing, not only the physical body, but the mental, emotional, and spiritual body as well. So remember, when you sleep, you can also invite in the Council of Felines. You can invite in any specific guides or helpers that you wish to be by your side as you dream, to help you process whatever you need to, again, for your highest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Don't forget to ask, because we are going to jump in and do what we can as often as we can, but the angels and guides that work with you can do much more when you remember to ask. So do that. And then, you know, if you know, most of you have animal guides as well, and many of you are aware of who they are, and some of you are not. If you are not aware of who your guides are, you can ask them to come to you in your dreams and invite your guide. And again, you always ask for the guide who is here for your highest and greatest good or well-being, or however you wish to put that. Because sometimes there are different guides that come because they come to teach a particular lesson. They come to share something with you, some part of the journey. But asking is going to make sure that whoever shows up is perfect for the moment and the experience that you're having in this moment in time. So we invite you to not only greet your guides, but invite them to help you and support you. What we would like to add, hello, Odysseus. What we would like to add, of course he came, angel that he is. What we would like to add is that this is a very pregnant time on the planet. And what we mean by that is there is so much birthing going on all over the world. It may look like a lot of death in some places where there have been fires and floods and hurricanes and storms, but it is a cleansing process. Some of that are what we would refer to as labor pains, because Mother Earth is, there's a great deal that she's doing right now. And it's important that you understand that everything we've suggested that you do for yourself personally is helpful to every being on the planet. Never underestimate how important it is when you are present and aware of your energy and you're working with it to clear it, to strengthen it, to buffer it, to create the bubble. All of those different things are perceived by every living organism, because we all on the earth and out throughout the universe, we're just all energy. We're all energy beings. So everything that affects one energy in one tiny place has a ripple effect that affects all energy. So never underestimate how important it is to find those balanced places, to find those clear places, those loving places, and to be aware and consciously choosing those, because that's going to have such a positive effect on all the people around you, especially the ones that are racing around and frantic. You may not see the reaction. They may not consciously perceive it. In fact, most of them may not, but you can experiment. The felines say when you're shopping, when you're out and you're buying food or you're in a store where you're moving through, slow down and just pay attention to your energy. Just ground yourself, create that energy bubble around you if you haven't already, and then fill that bubble with love. So that love is going to come up from your heart chakra and move out into that bubble of light. And when you're ready, just start moving through the store and just observe. Observe. Do you notice that the produce or any plants in the store are responding to you differently? It could be very subtle, but they will. What about the people? What about the people around you? And if you are smiling, if you are connecting to them, what happens in the store? Now, some people, again, are not going to be aware of this effect that you are having on everyone around you. Some people may react in a what appears to be a negative way, but again, just hold your space. That doesn't mean they'll react in a negative way at you, but they may be very out of balance. So sometimes being around a being in balance is triggering or activating. But just hold your space. You can move away from them. If your energy is too triggering for them, move away. Just give them more space. And then see what happens. But there will be other people who will be drawn to your energy. And you can speak with them. You know, think of the purr. Think of the feline purr, which is a healing vibration. And if you speak to them with the consciousness of my voice is a healing energy. My smile is a healing energy. If you do that, people will be drawn to you who are ready to receive that. And you can say, Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, have a good day, whatever. Compliment them and watch what a difference it can make in the space that you're in. And that will give you a great sense of how powerful this conscious awareness and choice to be in a loving space, in that bubble, how that affects people around you. And what a gift to those who really are frantic, those who are worried they're not going to have enough money, those who are worried about not having enough of whatever. This is a little way, it feels little, but it actually is very powerful to touch them and affect them. They say, also remember that this is a time to surround yourself with things that uplift you. If there are, what do I want to say? Music. You know, one of the most beautiful things of this season is the music for me. I love the music of the holiday season. I don't go to church. I was raised in going to church, and I was raised singing Christmas carols, and I was raised singing incredible music like the Messiah, Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, is it Verdi's Gloria? You know, there's incredible Christmas music that is really composed from the heart. And so I feel a great deal of joy when I listen to it or I sing it. And I don't mind hearing it throughout the whole month. You know, because it makes a lot of other people smile. So whatever it is, maybe it's film. There are so many amazing films. You know, of course, there's some incredible Capra films like It's a Wonderful Life. Another one that I want to watch again is there's an old version of it and a new version of it. The new it's called The Preacher's Wife, and the old version is with Cary Grant as an angel, and Loretta Young, sorry, not Loretta Lynn, that's the singer. Loretta Young, who was a movie star in the 40s. And the newer version is Whitney Houston and Denzel Washington. It's wonderful. And then there's Miracle on 34th Street. There's Rudolph, Charlie Brown's Christmas, The Grinch. You know, all of these are so delightful. And again, whatever you can do to raise your vibration, to create that, hold on, sorry. To create that loving feeling in your heart, that is contagious. That's what the felines want us to know, how contagious it is, and that it's a very good thing. So so the dogs, again, we're talking about shaking off the day, and the cats are talking about creating this bubble of light before you go out. So those are some of the things they wanted to gift us tonight. The cats asked me too to talk a little bit about flower remedies, because these are a great tool that I just want to remind you about. The Bach flower walnut and the FES Flower Essence Services yarrows are very good at supporting your energy field, at actually, what do I want to say, strengthening that bubble of light. I think also what's her name at Green Hope Farm? Molly Sheehan, who makes all the Green Hope Farm and remedies. Those have some lovely energetic protectors. I know she's got some angelic ones that are amazing. So if you're attracted to flower essences, use them. Put them, I will put them on my wrist. I will sometimes, put a few drops in my water bottle, because I kind of take this with me everywhere I go. Those are good things to use. If you don't have cats, there are some flower essences. Oils. There are essential oils that can be very lovely during the holiday season. The balsams and the pines. But of course, you don't want to use those around cats, because those phenols can be disruptive to the liver. So be very careful with those scents. Some of us love having live pine in the house. That's not going to hurt the cats. It's just the essential oils that are so concentrated. But you don't want anybody really chewing on the tree, and you certainly don't want tinsel, because that can be so dangerous if anybody swallows it, cat or dog. So be thoughtful about what you put on your tree too. And don't put things like popcorn, cranberry, those lovely, don't put those on the tree, because guess what? The dogs are going to think that's just swell. And yeah, they don't need to be pulling those off and eating them along with the string, or pulling down the tree in the process. I have to tell you a funny story. When I had my dog Molly, and Azul was a kitten, I had a Christmas tree in the apartment, and someone had given me a big gingerbread man in all wrapped in plastic, and I hung him on the tree. And I knew Molly wouldn't do a thing. I knew Molly was an angel dog. She never did anything wrong ever. So I came home, and what do I see? But the gingerbread man on the floor, and the foot eaten. And I looked at Molly and I said, "Molly, did you do that?" She said, well, Azul knocked it down. And I said, "Azul," who loved to mess with me. I said, "Azul." He said, "Well, I knew Molly would like it." I'm like, "Azul, you got Molly in trouble, and you climbed the tree, which you weren't supposed to do." And he's like, "Yeah, but I didn't disturb anything else." So they were very much, yes, they were definitely partners in crime. But that was hilarious, because I knew she would do nothing. It didn't matter if I had a stake on that tree. She would not have touched it. But Azul decided Molly needed that gingerbread man. So that was my favorite don't put food on the tree story, even if you have a really well-behaved dog, because your cats may have other ideas. So those are just some things, to be aware of. And many of you, there, I will put out again I have a cute little handbook, or it's a little cute illustrated book about sort of safety things. It's not even a booklet, it's a booklet that most of you I think have from last year or the year before, but some of you may not. And I'll make sure that you can download it. It's very cute. Print it out and keep it, about, sort of safety things, and all about the holidays, and, more of what I was talking about with being careful with things. So um, those are some of the things that I want to share. Let me just see if the cats and dogs have anything else they want us to know. Dogs say, don't forget to save some meat for us. Well, yeah, the cats are like, don't forget about us. So, so remember that turkey, not the gravy, not the skin, is okay in moderation, unless your dogs and cats are really used to eating it. And then, of course, you can give them a little extra. The giblets are, we always, even growing up, my mom would cook up the giblets for the animals. So the heart, if you get a turkey, they have that bag in there with with the neck, the heart, the kidney, and the liver. Anyway, we would just cook those up and give them to the animals. The neck is actually wonderful for bigger dogs because it's got all that cartilage. It's really great for their teeth. If you want to kind of de-slime it, you can put it in a hot pan and just sort of, sear it. Don't cook it, because you don't want to cook that cartilage, but that will also make it smell and taste better. I recommend you do that outside or in a closed kitchen, because it's messy. But that chicken neck or turkey neck, because it's long, the turkey neck is really long. And for smaller dogs, you can cut it up. Don't cut it too small, because you don't want anybody to just swallow it. You want them to have to chew it. So in fact, even a tiny dog like Fina, or even Mia, Jackie's dog, who's little, you could give them a pretty good size chunk of that, because we want them to chew it, not swallow it. Okay, so just be cautious. And again, if they're not used to bones, you want to always supervise anything like that, whether they're used to bones or not. But if they have not used to bones, that might, upset some tummies to be eating all that neck. So just be conscious and be wise about that. It might be better to give them a big beef bone or marrow bone, and then just give them chicken or turkey meat. I don't know how many of you make a soup after you've cooked the bird, but there can be some wonderful, sharing the broth, and as long as you don't have onions in it, right? But garlic's okay, a little garlic is okay, but no, don't make sure no dogs and cats get any onions. But if you want to save some of the broth before you put the onions in or whatever, and save some of the turkey, pull it off the bones, the carcass, that's great for your animals. So just think about that too as a treat. Way better than, but stay away from the gravy, because gravy is so fatty. Don't do gravy. Give them, make sure that they're getting, I'm just muting everybody, I think. Yeah, you should all be muted now. Gravy, just be careful, things that are really sweet, things that are very fatty, don't do too much of that. But a little turkey meat, turkey giblets, those are all good things. Even pumpkin, if you're making pumpkin pie, I sent you all that recipe in my newsletter. I hope you got it, about how to make, how to use pumpkin and give it to your dogs and cats. But that's unflavored. It can be canned pumpkin, but without any flavorings, or it can be, if you're making pie from scratch and you're scraping out pumpkins and cooking up pumpkins, that's a great thing to save for the animals. So those are some of the things I wanted to mention tonight. Anybody else have anything they'd like to ask or suggest? Even just unmute yourself and chime in. Anybody?
I don't have a suggestion, but I just have something to share, because my sister's cat told me this yesterday, and I thought it was the biggest he said he kept eating my plants, and I got sick of it and said, "Why do you do that?" And he said, "Because they're so full of love. I like feeling the love."
Oh, that's really sweet. That's a new one. Haven't heard that. Um, maybe you can get him some kitty grass, some grass, and send it lots of love, and also ask its permission. Is it okay if he eats you? Because I'm sure the plants are full of love, but they probably aren't thrilled that he's eating them. So maybe he could have some kitty grass or catnip or something that he could eat instead. But that's so cute. That's wonderful, Swag. So much fun. Aw. So you love your plants. That's wonderful. They get a lot of love. That's fabulous. And they give it
Yeah,
back.
it's hilarious.
Mhm. Anybody else?
This puppy's gonna be the death of me.
What's he doing?
He's so tall and long
Yeah.
that he puts his feet up on the kitchen sink, tries to grab things out of the sink. He shreds his toys. So maybe his toys are full of love because all he wants to do is kill his toys.
Well, he's a puppy, Pen.
I know, but he loves to get the cat food cans and run around the house with them.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that every day.
I can totally see that. That's so funny.
Nothing's safe.
No, not with a tall puppy around. This is true. Or a kitten, because they get into everything as well, right? So yeah, you have to really puppy proof everything, especially when they're tall enough to.
61 pounds already.
Yeah, he's going to be a big boy. He's a big boy. Are you guys doing some training?
Not as much as I should, only because my work schedule is so inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
But he needs to go to school.
Yeah, he does.
Tired. He needs to be tired.
Yeah, and he needs to learn stuff so that he can make good choices.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll get there.
Now he's being good eating peanut butter calm.
Oh, good. Okay. Yes. Keeping pet puppies busy is can be a big challenge. Smart ones especially, right?
Yeah, he's really smart.
Right. Anybody else? Okay. Well, I just wanted to give the dogs and cats an opportunity to share with us whatever it was they wanted to share. And so I hope that was helpful and useful to everyone as reminders. So again, just to review the dogs, making sure you shake off energy before you come in the house. The cats, before you go out of the house, create that bubble around you. And then if you need some extra support, the cats reminded me to tell you about the flower remedies. So if you're attracted to the Bach flowers, batch flowers, and you want to use them, walnut is the one. Sometimes elm is great for overwhelm if there's just so much going on. Elm and walnut are terrific together. And then in Green Hope Farm, there are the angels and the protectors of the Green Hope Farm essences. And then there are FES, Flower Essence Services, out of California, FES. They have the yarrows. And I know there's more. So whatever ones you're attracted to, those are terrific allies this time of year. And I'm going to remember that too. And I'm going to work on my bubble and my shaking off and everything as well. So I am grateful for those reminders. So thanks everybody for joining me tonight. Next week is the 11th. So we have 2 more sessions before Christmas. So if anybody has any suggestions, I would welcome those about what you'd like to hear, who you'd like to hear from, or what you'd like us to discuss in these next 2 Wednesdays. That would be really helpful to me. So thank you again and have a lovely week and enjoy December and all the merriment. So lots of love to everyone. Good night.